Hey guys, we were really excited to show you today one of our favorite games called Dominion. This game has a very special place in our heart, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the first games that we really got into, and I think that that's because it was really fun, but it's also so fun with two players. And before that, we played a lot of four-player games only.
Mm-hmm.
So once we got this game, him and I were really able to play at home and get into gaming a little bit more. There's so many expansions to Dominion, as you can see over there. We're not going to touch on too many of them today. We're not going to touch on the individual workings of each. But just so you see, this game can, if you like this game, there's so many options to make it bigger than even what it is. Little bit on Dominion before he gets started. It's a deck building game, which means you start with a few cards that are actually kind of bad, even though they might not seem bad in the beginning. And then you use them to get new cards and make your deck as efficient as possible. One thing I really like about this game is, and he'll explain a little bit more about it, is every game is different. So there's so many different strategies you can use. I don't think I've ever used the same strategy exactly twice. I don't know, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because every game is set up differently.
I mean, we've never played the same game of Dominion twice, which is pretty cool. So do you want to explain a little bit?
Yeah, so what she means is it's a card game, but this is the size of the box. It's, size for like a board game, but there's no board. It just comes with tons and tons of cards. Some of those cards are what are called kingdom cards, and these two rows, 10 stacks in total, are all kingdom cards. And every card in each stack is the same. They can be acquired by any of the players during their turns. But in the game, it comes with 26 different kingdom cards. So for each game, you're going to use only 10 of those 26. So you're going to get a different combination every single time. And that's what makes the game different. So when you take your turn, it's pretty simple. Turns go quick. This is my deck. Like Sammy said, I started with 10 cards. And as the game has gone along, I've acquired more cards into my deck. So now I have about 20 cards. So I'm going to deal myself out the top 5, set the others to the side, and then of the cards that I deal out, I'm going to be able to do certain things. Some of these cards are action cards, which I would play first, which give me like extra money sometimes. They allow me to play more actions. They allow me to draw more cards into my hand. Some of them allow me to attack the other players. Those I'll play first. Some of the cards that I have are going to be treasure cards. These are just money. I'm ultimately trying to get as much money in my hand so that I have as much treasure to acquire cards with as I can, because that's kind of the name of the game. You want money in your hand. You want so that you can acquire expensive, good stuff to go back into your deck. Because the most expensive cards of which are going to give you points, and that's how you win in the end. So some of my favorite, what are called action cards, just to kind of go through a couple. And I know that it's kind of far away, you can't see. This here is called a militia, and if you play this, it gives you 2 treasures for that hand, and each of your opponents will have to discard their hands from 5 down to 3. So instead of playing with 5, they're playing with 3. That's called an attack card. This is another attack card. This is called a witch. Now a witch allows me to draw 2 more cards into my hand. So now I'm playing with 7 instead of 5. And it also gives each other player a curse. Curse are these really ugly looking purple bird cards.
Yeah, Mike hates them because there's birds on them.
Each of my opponents would get one of those. It's going to go into their deck. They're going to deal it into their hand eventually. It's going to do nothing for them, and it's worth -1 point at the end. So the only other card that I want to explain is these green cards here are called victory cards. They're what score you points. You can buy these too. The game ends when the provinces, which is one type of victory card, have all been bought. And you start with 12 provinces. And as soon as somebody buys up the last province, then you just lay all your cards out and you count up how many points you've got into your deck. Whoever's got the most points wins. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really recommend you guys try it. It says 2 through 4 on the box. You can actually play with 5 or 6 if you have 2 base games. But it's not my favorite. We do it sometimes, but it takes a long time. I think 2 to 4 is definitely the best number for you.
Did you see Monkey join us?
Yeah, Monkey loves Dominion too. So anyway, give it a try, guys. We've already gotten a few people into Dominion. You guys know who you are. And so we're hoping to get some other people into it too.